Assalamualaikum and salam productivity. I'm Noor Aziera Mohamed from Malaysia Productivity Corporation MPC, your host for today. MPC Productivity Talk is now back on live every Friday at 3 p.m. by discussing current issues in facing the challenges of increasing the productivity of businesses, companies, industry sectors, and even our country. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to have a special guest who will be sharing on the topic of self-regulatory compliance can improve productivity. Before we start, let me just introduce our guest. Dato Dr. Mohamed Sany is the champion for the Chemical Productivity Nexus (CPN). He is also an executive committee member of the Chemical Industries Council of Malaysia (CICM), representing Malaysia in conferences and forums in the area of road safety, responsible care, risk management, emergency response, and crisis management. Now, without further ado, I would like to invite our esteemed moderator, Mr. Hisyam Abdul Halim, the Program Manager for the Chemical Productivity Nexus (CPN), to start the session. Over to you, Mr. Hisyam.
Thank you, Aziera. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good evening and salam productivity. I'm Hisyam Abdul Halim from MPC. It's a great pleasure to have our special guest with us today, Yang Berbahagia, Dato Dr. Mohamed Sany, as the champion for Chemical Productivity Nexus, CPN. How are you, Dato?
Alhamdulillah, baik, bagus. Thank you. And how's your family? Good?
Alhamdulillah, terima kasih, Dato. Before we start, for information, Malaysia recorded productivity growth of 3.7% per year in the period of 2021 to 2022, exceeding the target of 3.6%. According to the midterm review of the 12th Malaysian Plan, RMK12, that was presented recently, productivity is expected to increase by 3.8% per year between 2023 to 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, as we know, the chemical and chemical products subsector is a major contributor to the Malaysian economics. It accounts for over 11% of GDP and employs over 300,000 people. However, the industry is also subject to a number of strict regulations designed to protect environment and public safety. With that, my first question to Dato, what is self-regulation compliance and what is the benefit to the industry?
Okay, let me start by saying regulations are some things that are to be taken seriously. And most companies are aware that regulatory compliance is necessary as it gives you the license to operate, without which you are operating illegally or outside the framework of the law. Self-regulation is a process by which then business understands the fundamental reasons and rationale for regulations and voluntary established controls, which ensures it complies. This can be done through a variety of means, such as developing and implementing internal policies and procedures, conducting regular audits, and providing training to employees. As an example of self-regulation by the chemical industry is that its efforts to ensure their logistics service provider, or LSP kadang-kadang it's called, supplies only fit-for-purpose drivers with the necessary licenses and permits, and fit-for-purpose vehicle, which means that vehicles have undergone their 6 monthly post-perform checks. And the vehicles have also got their valid road tax. For the other non-LSP operations, it could perhaps mean developing and implementing a comprehensive chemical management system that should include reviews of policies, procedures for the classification, labeling, packaging, storage, handling, and sometimes the disposal of chemicals.
Thank you, Dato. Maybe Dato can explain more. What are the advantages and disadvantages of self-regulation compliance to the industry as well to the government?
Okay, advantages. In the case of the LSP story, the chemical industry had developed a comprehensive database system, which is named as E-Roads. E-Roads monitors the status of drivers and their vehicle prior to their entry into the factories and plants. The role of the supposedly random JPJ roadblock is fully taken over by the industry with 100% checks at the plant gate. No valid regulatory paperwork means no business for the LSPs. This has resulted in more money for the authorities since more drivers now renew their driver licenses and GDL. And the LSP has also confidence on knowing they will be covered insurance-wise in the event of an accident. Self-regulatory compliance has also been seen to, on the long run, help businesses grow by minimizing the exposure to heavy fines and accidents. Good safety is rewarded through continued long-term and sustainable businesses. This is where safety and the environmental performance leads to a reduction in business interruption from accidents resulting in injuries and environmental pollution. Indeed, good safety is good business is an appropriate cliche in the petrochemical industry. Self-regulatory compliance can help businesses to reduce its costs by avoiding fines and penalties for non-compliance. It can also help to reduce cost of insurance and waste disposal. Self-regulatory compliance can help businesses to enhance their reputation as a responsible and ethical organization. This can make them more attractive to customers, investors, and employees. Obviously, you're going to ask me what are the disadvantages. Before you ask me that, let me tell you, self-regulatory compliance can increase cost of doing business as additional resources, such as you have to have training programs, you have to have audit system, and this cost can go up. This can increase costs, but it is actually a short-term challenge. Self-regulatory compliance can be somewhat complex and time-consuming, especially for small businesses. Yeah. The basis of self-regulatory compliance is trust and voluntary, with no government agency stooping down to enforce it. There is always a risk that some businesses may not comply fully. However, overall, the advantages of self-regulatory compliance outweigh the disadvantages. Businesses in the chemical industry and chemical products industries in Malaysia can and has benefited from improved safety and environmental performance, reduced costs, and an enhanced reputation. Yeah.
Thank you, Dato. In regards to the 12th Malaysian Plan, midterm review emphasised on focus area C, accelerating digital transformation with strategy C2, strengthening data sharing regulatory framework. What is the ongoing project by CPN, Dato, to support that statement, and how technology can play a significant role in improving self-regulatory compliance and safety in the chemical and chemical product industry?
Okay, one of the projects that we're working on is is database sharing, database integration. The chemical industry has been working in a database program called eRoads. In eRoads, several information which is kept in eRoads. The driver database is there, and the vehicle database is there, and the transporters database is there. Every transporter that works for the chemical industry, be it different companies, have all now voluntarily put their information in the system. So when one driver moves from one company to the other, his records also moves with it. The other issue that they have, through a compilation of information and data, you also learn to profile these drivers. You know good drivers as well as you know bad drivers. So every time a driver moves, you can know his status of training and all that. It's also a record of drivers and vehicle that instead of putting in papers in drawers, it's now within a database. And this information can be obtained through the database. The industry has then moved on to a step of also putting the driver's licenses in it, not only the driver's licenses, but also the deadlines, the dates of the expiry of these licenses in it. And then they have linked it to a traffic light system. Mm-hmm. So once, if a driver who has an expired license come to a plant, the plant does not need to check physically the driver's license. So because it's within the system and because it's got a traffic light system, if a driver expired, the traffic light goes red. If everything is okay, it's green. So if everything is okay from all the driver's aspects of document control and all the vehicle aspect of document control, the plant allows the vehicle in. Now, one of the issues, of course, we have is having to update this physically. Every time a driver's license is expired, we have to put in the new license in, we have to type the new deadlines in. Now, what we have done is we have spoken already to a number of government regulatory bodies. One of the bodies that we are talking to now is JPJ. So JPJ is a direct source of data keeping. So what we do for these drivers and for the trucks, which is within our system, we have the e-road system now talk to the JPJ system. They extract the data electronically. And once the data comes in, we will help JPJ manage to make sure only approved drivers, which is drivers with valid licenses, and approved vehicle, which means vehicle with the appropriate road tax or valid road tax, and also valid Puspacom certificates be used for our operations. So we are now literally replacing the JPJ roadblocks with our industry roadblocks. Dengan ini, we hope that JPJ will also get good income because drivers and vehicle will have no choice but to renew all their licenses before they can work for the chemical industry. Thank you.
Thank you again, Dato. For my next question, how self-regulatory compliance can improve productivity?
Okay, good question. A chemical company that implements a self-regulatory compliance program may be able to reduce the number of accidents and injuries that occur in its workplace. This can lead to reduced downtime and increased productivity. Overall, self-regulatory compliance can play an important role in improving productivity in Malaysia. Businesses that are committed to self-regulatory compliance can benefit from improved safety and environmental performance, reduce cost, and enhance reputation and increase productivity. It is important to note that the benefits of self-regulatory compliance will vary depending on the specific industry and business models. However, the research suggests that self-regulatory compliance can have a positive impact on productivity in a wide range of industries.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your opinion. Okay, for my last question today, what is the challenges facing from the industry currently?
Ini cerita lama lah. Inflation has gone up in all sectors from food to retail. Competition from abroad have impacted our exports. Small and medium-sized industries are still relatively slow in modernizing their operations and still dependent on manual labor. This makes desired changes, hence productivity growth sluggish. For the chemical sector, 92% of the contribution to the economy is contributed by micro and small SMEs. The little boys lah, they contribute a large part to the economy. These tens of thousands of businesses are sometimes on their own without being represented in groupings or association. This makes reaching out to understand their gaps in skill set and to provide assistance very challenging. The situation from the European energy crisis as a result of war in Ukraine and strengthening of the US dollar has made economic recovery in many countries around the world, termasuk Malaysia, sluggish. And now the Israeli-Palestinian crisis in the Middle East is predicted to slow down the economy, the global economy, even further.
Oh, great, Dato. Okay, thank you for your feedback. Before we end, perhaps Dato can give a final message to all the chemical and chemical product players.
Boleh. There is a number of upskilling and reskilling initiative program and projects by CPN. Upskilling and initiative program and projects that CPN is undertaking, which is mostly funded by the government to help SMEs in particular and the Malaysian economy in general. We're trying to reach out to players within the industry to take the opportunity to nominate and send the unskilled but experienced workers to this training in hope that this training can improve our SMEs' productivity, hence result in profitability in the chemical sector.
Okay, we have come towards the end of the episode. On behalf of MPC, I would like to thank Dato Sany for willingness to be with us today and share your knowledge during this session. We hope our talk today can benefit others. Thank you also to those who watched the MPC Productivity Talk. Don't forget to watch the MPC Productivity Talk postcard every Friday. Thank you again. Stay safe, stay productive, and see you again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.